What's up, Jet fans? I just finished watching Week 10 Jets at Cardinals, and I've been sick for the past couple of days, and I thought I was getting over it, but after watching this game, I'm sick all over again. um, a a really bad loss, 31-6. Before this game, going into the game, right, the Jets were kind of riding high after a really good game against the Texans, or I should say, a really good second half against the Texans with lots of incredible catches from Garrett Wilson. Devontae Adams scored a touchdown. Um, so beating a team, the Texans, they got C.J. Stroud, who is an MVP level rookie. Obviously, he's more of a sophomore slump right now, but still a really good player. They thought that they could, after beating that team, they had a shot, right? Because it's a 7 seed in the playoffs. So they beat the Texans, and you just got to go into Arizona and beat the Cardinals. A lot better team than I think people say, but I also don't think as good a team as their division says, right? Because they're number one in their division, and I don't think they're that good, but I think they're better than what some expect, especially since they were really bad last year. Obviously, the Jets did not win this game, a 31-6 loss. Just doing the rundown, the record is now 3-7. My predicted record for them was 6-4, and my prediction was incorrect. And I'll call it. I think the season's over. Right, to get the wild card, to get the seventh seed, you kind of need to go 10-7. I would say, to have a good chance. There's lots of good teams in the AFC. Um, and they didn't they can only lose one more time, and they have a few games that I would not predict them to win. So this season's over. A really bad game. Jumping into the offense, I mean, Aaron Rodgers, only 150 yards, no touchdowns. He threw an interception that was called back. I thought it was the right call from the refs there. Also, a makeup call from a really bad call we'll get into. Um, and just not no one could really do anything. Brees Hall was running pretty well, but once again, once you go down so many points, you got to stop running the ball. So he was rushing pretty well, right, averaging over 5 yards a carry, doing a lot in the passing game for a running back, anyways. And then you can't, but you got to stop. You can't check down. You can't run anymore when you're down like 20 points. So that's unfortunate to see. And then also, Devontae Adams is up here because clearly, if you're watching the games, right, the stats don't say it. Um, 6 receptions, 31 yards. That's not a great stat line, but that's not terrible. But Aaron Rodgers was chucking to him a lot, throwing to him a lot. Uh, and even though other guys were open, he was trying to force it to his friend, and that's just not working. And honestly, that's not what Devontae Adams needs to do on this team. He needs to be there, take the number one quarterback away, and then let Garrett Wilson feast. But Aaron Rodgers was trying to get Devontae Adams the ball a lot. If you watch the games, that's what I saw, anyways. So just a really bad performance, right? A six, a really terrible performance. No points scored, basically. At least their kicker, their rookie kicker, they've switched to like their third kicker. I think did decent. I guess he did what he was asked to do in this game. So I guess if you want to look on the positive side, but just a really bad offensive performance from a decent defense, but not a great defense by any means. And then just to rant right before I talk about the defense, I guess this call. If you guys are watching the game, the Cardinals fumble the ball, and then they. It's just like is called back for some reason. The refs really don't explain it. The rules analyst doesn't really explain it at all, and it's just a really confusing call, right? And it kind of did swing the game where the Jets would have gotten the ball in the red zone. And I know that's no guarantee for them to score a touchdown, but thinking optimistically, the score would have been 13-21 going into half, and the Jets would get the ball after halftime. So, a one score game with the Jets getting the ball, that's a big, mentally speaking, anyways, that's a big difference from what it ended up being, where the Cardinals kicked a field goal, 6:24 going into the half. Right, those two score lines are completely different, and the refs just kind of messed this call up. I would like to see why they did what they did. The rules analyst was confused on TV, so I'm not saying the refs, right? Maybe the refs were correct, but the unbiased rules analysts were telling me that, no, the refs, that doesn't make any sense to him. So this is just a weird call. I'd like to see what other analysts say, but I'm making this video right after the game, so I don't know if like someone's going to be like, actually, it makes complete sense. But the TV was telling me this didn't make any sense, and looking at where they would have gotten the ball, thinking optimistically, a 13-21 game is a lot different from a 6-24 game, and it just kind of got out of control. But I do agree, I'm making excuses if that's what the haters are going to say, because the Jets deserve to lose this game. It was a really bad game for them. Uh, right. Kyler Murray diced him up. He set the franchise record for most consecutive passes completed. Um, he was also running a lot. He got 2 rushing touchdowns. Um, and the Jets defense just couldn't do anything. Their run game, they couldn't stop the run. They couldn't stop the pass. Just a really miserable game against a winnable team, right? You could beat the Cardinals. That's nothing special. They would, if they won, the Cardinals would have a 500 record. So obviously beating the Cardinals is not the hardest thing in the world to do. But Kyler Murray did really well, and he did so well they actually put his backup in, which is just embarrassing for this defense, and they should feel embarrassed. A really bad performance. I don't know what to do here, right? Because they were not good at stopping the pass. Kyler Murray was dicing them up. They couldn't stop the run. Right? No, if you look at the running stats, no one did a lot, but look how many guys got the ball, right? That's the issue. So I think over 100 rushing yards, and then obviously a very, very efficient 266 passing yards from Kyler Murray. So just a not very good game from this defense at all. Not very good game from anyone on the Jets, really. Right? Thinking about the future, I guess. Due to recent events in the United States, Woody Johnson might have to leave the team again for 4 years. So that, if you know, his brother will be running the team, and I don't think fans want that. But I guess you might just want Woody Johnson gone, and I think I'm telling you that he probably will be gone for 4 years or so. Um, I don't know if that's great news, because once again, his brother will be running the team, but only for 4 years. So having owner there for only 4 years is a really weird scenario. It happened before, and it's not like a bunch of things changed, right? They're two brothers. They think similarly. So not a big news, but it is just something to think about, I guess, because there were sell the team chance during the Texans game, which ironically they actually ended up winning. And then looking into the future of this season, like I said, they got the Colts and then a bye week. The Colts is a winnable game. And actually, once again, just thinking optimistically, that 7th seed, a bunch of teams are competing for it, including the Colts, including the Broncos. Both of those teams lost this week, so status quo, I guess. But the Jets are behind them, so obviously, if those two teams lose, you want the Jets to win, so then they can gain on them because the Jets are behind the record wise. But that didn't happen. All of them lost, and so that meant, and the Jets are behind them. So just not a great look. I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense, but yeah, I'm plucking at straws here to come up with something positive, and I don't think I can. So a very bad game from the Jets. I think the season is over. Right when they lost to the Patriots, the season was like kind of over, but there was like maybe a chance. But then after this loss, the season is over because now they can't lose a single game, and if you can't beat the Patriots or the Cardinals, you can't beat the Dolphins or the Bills, I guess, or the Rams. And I know it's not like, not everything equals the same. But anyways, I'm rambling, so I'll be done now. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you guys think the Jets should do looking in the future in the comments below. Bye.